Hi everybody, it's me, it's Kat from Creative Crafts. I just want to apologize for the long pause that I had. Lots of going on, lots of good things. And today's my very first video in a long time. But we're going to make a decoration for the door. So what you're going to need is, you're going to need some of these small pieces of wood. Then some actual looking pieces of wood. I will tell you next how many you need. Some kind of decorations, anything you'd like. I got this for 10 cents, which is awesome. I found this one here too. It says live, love, and laugh, which is going to go in the middle. And then what you see here is a thing for your garden where you can put what kind of thing, if it's lavender, if it's rosemary or basil. You can write it on here. But when you use it outside, please make sure you stain it first so that it doesn't get ruined. You need a few of these, I think at least 1, 2, 3, 5 of these sticks, but you need mostly 4 of these ends, the pointy ends, and then 3 of the normal ends. That's what you'll need. So you're gonna just have to break it up. It depends on how big your wood pieces are. Then I also have, as you can see, little letters. They're also made out of wood. Let me put this up more. They're also made out of wood, which I'm going to stain them, and that will be the next step. So like I said, with every project, you're going to make sure you need to protect your area. You either put a very thick piece of plastic on it. I used an old cornflakes box or newspaper. You can use anything. I just need this for now because I'm going to stain my letters dark, because the wood that it's going on is light and you wouldn't be able to see the word home. So now, first step is painting your letters that you want. You can also put welcome. Just make sure the letters are small enough to fit on this across if you want to put welcome. These are pretty big letters here. Welcome probably won't fit unless you put it right at the end. And I wouldn't suggest that, probably wouldn't look good. It depends on what stick you use. You can use thinner ones, thicker ones, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a few of these kind of sticks. So now I will do that. This will not get stained, that will stay this color. And now we'll stain this. So what kind of paint I'm using, it's not a paint, it's a stain. I'm using this here. And what's so good about this is non-toxic stain. A lot of people say, huh? Non-toxic? Yeah, it doesn't smell. It's not toxic for animals if it gets on people's hands. Of course, if you eat it, you have to make sure no kids or cats lick at it, but it's still, it's not going to kill you if it happens. So what you need to do now is take your letters, and you need gloves. So that's one thing I forgot to mention. You need gloves. So I probably only use 1 glove, but just in case, I'll probably put 2 on it anyway. I got size M. I like the clear ones, but these are the only ones they had on sale. What I also can suggest is when you do hair color, and if you have any of the gloves, sometimes they have extras in it, put those aside. You can use those gloves instead of going out and buying gloves yourself. So let's get this out of here. I got a small paintbrush, and just dip it. And what you do is make sure you get all around the sides, because you do not want it to look funny. So you get all around the whole thing. Put a good amount on so that it seeps in the wood. Like I said. And then what you do is you take a napkin or Siva, not Siva, that's in German, kitchen roll, and you dab off all the extra. You don't want to leave it on there and drying like that. So just with every stain, you need to wipe it down, because you don't want to have a clump of stain on top of your wood. You want it to look like a wood stain, so you need to do that. And this is what I did. So the whole time I didn't have the camera on it. Isn't that great? So here what I did, I already did it on that one. So now what I'm going to do is do the next one. Like I said, put a good amount on it. Sorry about the first part, the E that I started and you didn't see it because I thought the camera was on it, but it wasn't. Like I said, make sure there's a good amount. And then once that is done, what you do is you take the same napkin and put it a different side. And you can also use what's on here and put it onto the other wood if you want. Take what's excess, so you don't use too much of it, you know what I mean? If you want to just save, what I'm going to do is going to go like this, which it makes it a little bit more easy, and that's what I did here. That's how you do it. The same goes with the E. So you let that on the side and dry. With this, there's extra, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint over it anyway, the O, and then go with the napkin. Doesn't matter if you touch it, it's not going to do anything because it's wood, and like if you know anything about stains, it goes into the wood anyway. So you don't have to worry about having fingerprints because it will not do that. And here you go. So now that is done. Very quick and easy thing to do. Like I said, if you have a bigger project, tables, whatever, do the same thing. Stain always has to be wiped off, or you'll have a really clump mess on your wood, and you don't want that. There you go. So, and I said use a napkin because it's probably the best idea. And there you go. Now, like I said, make sure you wipe off any excess, and there you go. And that is stained and done. Now time to take my paintbrush. This is a water-based stain, funny as it may sound. Once it's dried, it's waterproof, but when you get it from here, you can mix it with water if you want, and the brushes come very easily clean. So I do suggest you to get this kind of stain. Is a non-toxic stain, which is water-based. So you look for one, look for that one. That one's the best. So now the next step is making these wood pieces. If you wonder what I have here, these are the pieces that I need for in these sticks. What I did is I took one and measured it. So I didn't really measure it, I just like took the two pieces, and you don't want to glue it all the way like this. You want to glue it maybe a little bit on the edge only, to the extent where you don't see any of this. So you need one long piece, two normal pieces like this, which I will turn around and go like this so that it goes over. Same thing goes for this, so that it goes over. If you want to make it neat, you can use scissors. And the reason why I need these pointy parts is for it to be more, so it connects to the wood in the corner much easier. And that's how we can make our door decoration. Like, it's not like a wreath, we're going to make a flower. And then once you have all these pieces glued together and done, it doesn't matter what sizes they are, that's when you start gluing the big pieces of wood. This is real wood pieces, so what you're going to do is, when you put the glue gun on it, it's really going to glue very well because it has the ridges inside. And so when you put the glue on here, and then what you do is, you want to have this flat part on this end, and you want this end on this end here, like you see here. And what you do is, I'm waiting for my glue gun, and we can glue it soon. I think this goes like this, I think. I screwed it all up now. This goes here. No. This goes here. 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 And this goes here. No. Wrong. There you go. No, that's better. You want it to try to get the same size as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because the flower isn't perfect. So this is what you need to do first. Like I said, I gotta wait for my glue gun to get hot. But like I said, with the next step is doing the wood pieces here to make the frame of the flower piece that you want to make for the door. So you need to glue that all together. So now what you do is, like I said, you glue them in these ends and then glue the corner parts where they belong. And go like this so that you don't get any glue strings. If anyone who knows how it goes with the glue strings, if you work with a little hot glue a lot, you know what I mean, what I'm talking about. So same thing goes for this side. And then what you do is go like this so you don't get a glue string. And make sure you stick it in the corner. Like I said before, if you want to use staples, staples are also good. But I don't think you really need it. We're going to wait for that to dry. Well, not dry, cool. We need a few minutes and then we'll go to the next step. So as you can see, I did this here. Make sure I know exactly where my wood piece is going to go, where they're going to go. And right now, because you want to make it a little bit more stable, what you could do is stick some popsicle sticks here across, just little ones across here to protect it a little bit more, or use some of the extra wood pieces that you have. So what you can do here is break small pieces off. Breaks easy. And then you can also go like this if you want. Stick it on there. And then stick on another one over here if you want. Just to make it a little bit more stable. Let's go like this. I'm sure that's stuck to the newspaper right now. Aw, seems alright. But I'm going to use this for the back side. So what I want to do is to use the jute rope to make it a little bit more stable. I want to put some wood across here. And what I'm going to do is, just to make it a little bit more stable, stick that wood piece here. And then what I want to do is put this in half, this piece, and check and see if it'll fit here. And then what you do is put glue across this area and stick that here so that it looks nice and even. Same thing goes, you can do it on the back of this too. Doesn't matter which way you do it. If you put it on top of the other piece or this piece, it really wouldn't matter. What you do is now you stick that here, you let it cool down, and now you have the base where you can hang your jute rope so you can hang it on the door. So now that is done, you can turn this around and you can start gluing these 4 pieces. Well, not 4 pieces, 8 pieces. So that will be the next step. So what I was just thinking, because you're afraid maybe the wood pieces on this side may show up, what you could do is stain it just in this end. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is going to be covering this, and then this is going on top of here. So you won't be seeing anything. So what you could do now is, when you're done with gluing all these, I'll show you the next step what we need. We need also another piece of this wood. And then I'll let you know what to do. I'm going to stain that middle area just in case that you can still see through it. So I stained it. And another thing I forgot to tell you when you're staining, if you want it darker, let it sit. But don't let it sit too long, because this kind of paint, stain, I keep saying paint, stain, dries very quickly. So like I said, this is already dried. So now like I said, that will dry very fast. So if you don't want to have clumps on it, I'd suggest you wipe it right away. But if you wait just maybe a couple of seconds longer and then wipe it, it'll be fine. But don't let it sit too long, then the clumps will stay there and then it won't look good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is glue our pieces on here. But you have to be careful where you glue it. And that's a piece of napkin. Take that off. So what you need to do is be careful on where you glue it, because you want to have not it all the way in here, because then you won't have the flower effect. So you're going to have to maybe stick that there for now, so you know exactly about where, you know, they go. One step at a time. That's how you're going to do it. So what I'm going to do is make sure you put it on top, because you want this on top of these ends here. So what you're going to do is glue one at a time. And I'm going to take just enough glue and put it just here at the end. And then, yep, right there. You don't want it too much. And then I can maybe stick another one on the other end. So I can stick my perfect. So now what we're going to do is do the rest of them. Do these two sides. As you can see how it looks now. So now you stuck that piece in there, and now you can see. And then you debate which end you want to have it on. I think I will have the long end, or do I want to have it like this? I like it like this, so I will do this. But before you put this part on, you need to break this up, these pieces here, and glue some down on here, so that you have something for the middle part to glue on. So I need another piece of does that. So now I can glue this piece on here. And then take another piece. Like I said, you can make it as small as you can and just keep gluing them until you get to the height that you need it. I think 3 pieces should be sufficient. You know, from these thin ones. Or get a piece of wood and big piece and then put it there. That's fine too. So, let's see. That should be fine. What's that? So I'm going to let that all cool down. And now after this, what you want to do is make sure you glue this on in the position that you want, this thing here. You can find, this is actually a coaster that I bought here in Germany, 99 cents for 4, and it's actual wood. And if you find something like this round, a coaster that is round and says this, even if it's a cork coaster or paper, not paper, but you know, normal coasters, glass, whatever you want. If you use glass, make sure you use E6000 to glue this onto that, because hot glue don't stick to glass very well. So what you do is glue that on, and you look exactly where you want to have it, And make sure that you put glue on all ends, right at the tip. So, and like I said, you don't want any strings, just do that twisting effect. And then if you don't get all the glue, it's fine, you can cover it later. Seems like this one here is not covering, but it dries fast, I can tell you. Cools fast. So there you go. There you go. You can still feel that all the glue is still kind of warm, but this is what I wanted to have to do. And the next step is gluing these pieces on. That's why I said don't worry about this glue, because you're gluing, you need 8 pieces of these small ones too. And then what you do is, I suggest you put the glue on this first, and you want to have it the same way these are, inwards. If you want, you can do it this way, in between. So I can show you what it looks like when it's just all in between. Oops, wrong way. You can do it this way. I'm going to take this screws off. They'll come off. Or you can just stick it this way on top of the other piece, like that. It's your choice how you want to do it. If you want to do it that way or this way. It's all up to you what you want it to look like. I'm going to do it the way I showed you. First is this way. It gives it more like the flower effect that I wanted. So what you're going to do is you're going to stick the glue only on the end of this piece of wood. You don't want to stick it on here first because you don't know how much or what you need for it. You don't need much, just put it on the end. And then do the next one. And there's the next one. There we go. And the next one. If you find smaller ones of these, perfect. You can do that with that. So next one. And make sure you squish it down so that the glue goes in between the sides, which makes it hold even better. So. And the last piece. So I also have these little hearts that I found. I thought it would be a great idea maybe to stick them on here, maybe this way, maybe. You can use other ones if it's like Thanksgiving. You can use turkeys. If it's Easter, you can use. Why aren't you? Oh, I just glued you. That's why. I'm sorry. Not enough glue. There we go. Now that should be enough. It's still wet. You can do it like this if you want. So far, I think it's looking good. And now we're going to put the word home together, which you need another piece of this stick here. You can paint it white if you want, but I wanted to keep it all natural colors. So this is the top part, and I want to glue it right here in the top, like that. And then I want to put the word home on top of it. like this. That looks, I think that looks great like that. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, I decided to use just the 3 flowers that are there and do it like this. So what I'm going to do now is glue my flowers. I'm not going to put too much glue on it, just right at the ends of the bumps of the hearts. And like I said, if you don't want to have any strings everywhere, you take your glue gun and then you circle, and that should be fine. So let's do the next one. So now the next step is gluing the words onto home, because you want to do that first, but you want to make sure you have that even. Or you can make the words crooked. It doesn't have to be perfect. So what I'm going to do is going to stick this here. O. M. And now the E. Don't do the whole back, because then you have a real problem. There you go. So now I'm going to glue this piece onto here. Looks like the glue's still kind of wet in some areas. No. So I want to glue this here. So now you look exactly where the middle is, and that's usually in between the O and the M, and it should be pretty good even. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick the glue on to here. And like I said, the O and the M, and stick it there. You can make it crooked, you can make it straight, but make sure you do it before the glue cools down. So now we gotta wait until it cools down, and then we'll do the very last step, which is taking the jute rope and making a piece that you can hang in the back. You can use a piece of steel rope if you want. You can buy those steel ropes. You can also use steel pieces that you use for roses or flowers. You can use anything as long as it's bendable. So by now that it's cooled, I'm going to double my rope, and I want to try to stick it in. There's a gap in between here, as you can see how this goes through. You see? There's a gap. So what I want to do is I'm going to put the rope, hopefully this works, I'm going to try to just don't let go of it like I just did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to maybe put some glue on it. Maybe that'll help. So maybe that'll help keep it on. Like I said, it did. There you go. And this is going to be the thing that's going to be hanging in the back of the door, because you don't want it to be unstable. So you need the scissors, cut it, tie it. You have it double, so it should be protected very well. Tie a double knot. so that you know it's stable. And I usually on my knots I put some of this glue on it so that it doesn't come undone. There you go, project is finished. If you like my video, please give it the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do on the button below. If you want to follow me on my other pages, I have Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I will put the link below also in the comment section. If you have any ideas or questions, please write them below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!